Alright, what's going on YouTube? Today, got a brand new video, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great of the first weekend of the beta of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Alright, so for the first category, we got the good. We're going to skip the great, and we're going to leave that for the end to leave on a positive note, but we got the good, and the first one, we got perk system and wild card. Personally, I think the wild card is great. It's a great addition. The perk system, I think, is also good, but I think perk 3 could be changed because right now it has Ghost, Cold Blooded, Gung Ho, and Ninja. And those perks I think are really good. I think they need to put one in a perk 2 because I don't think perk 2 is as good as of the perks we got. I'm sure we'll get more in the future, but as right now, I think perk 3 is loaded. So I think they switched that around a little bit, and I think they'll be good. But other than that, the perk system, wildcard system is awesome. And the next thing we have is gun balancing. I personally think the gun balancing in this beta was awesome. I think the SMGs were pretty fair, except for the Uzi. I do think the Uzi needs a little bit of a nerf. I think that was used a little bit too much, and it kills way too fast compared to the other SMGs. But other than that one, I think the MP5 and the 74U you can both use. They're both viable. You can use them anytime. ARs, I think the M4 is the best, but I do think the AK-47 is usable, and so is the Krieg. I've seen a lot of Kriegs just because it has not much recoil, so I think that helps some people use it, but I think for the AK-47, I think it shoots fast, so that's why people like that one. The M4, I think, is the best all around just because it doesn't have much recoil, and it shoots pretty fast, does good damage, but all around, I think the gun balancing was great. Another thing that was good with the Cold War beta was attachments. I think attachments are more in depth now than they were in Modern Warfare. I think in Modern Warfare there's too many reticles, way too many. I only use probably 3 or 4 reticles in Modern Warfare. So now in Cold War, I think we have about 6 maybe, I want to say. And we get more barrels, get more muzzles, get more grips and all of that. And that's what I would like to see more of. And I think the max is level 50, I would want to say. So I think that overall is a great step up for Modern Warfare. And the last thing for the good of Cold War beta was map vote. I think map vote is a great thing to have. I don't see why they took it out in Modern Warfare. There was no purpose of taking it out. Just a great thing all around, so you don't have to play a dumb map. Like, let me give you an example. VIP Escort Crossroads is on there. That is the map, in the 12v12 map. There's no reason that should be played. It's way too big, way too many open sites. I don't think that should ever be played. So that's an example of why we should have map vote. Now on to the bad. Personally, I don't like doing the bad in betas because usually they're fixed or addressed before the full release, but we're going to anyway. So for the first one, connection. I think the connection for the first 2 days weren't that good at all. There was gunfights where you should have won and you lost and stuff like that. I don't know. There's stuff getting killed around corners, and I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I think the connection was not very good the first 2 days. It got a little bit better towards the end. Then Sunday, it was kind of back to bad again, so hopefully they get that addressed. I know David Vonahar on Twitter said that would be his #1 priority, so that's good that they're looking into that. The next thing we got is sliding. I think sliding is way too fast and way too far. I personally think sliding should be a mechanic to where it's like sliding to like this cover to this cover where it's not too much, not sliding to where you have to win every gunfight, so hopefully they look into that. And for the next one, we got snipers. I personally think that the snipers got way too nerfed from the alpha to the beta. I think they need to be to where it's a one-shot kill from like the high stomach all the way up. I personally think that makes snipers better. There's sometimes where I got 2 hit markers on the VIP and VIP escort. I think that shouldn't happen. There's a lot of times I get hit markers. I know my gun's not all the way upgraded, but I hear a lot of snipers complaining about snipers being way too bad. Hopefully the Tundra's better. Maybe it's just the Pellington. We'll see whenever the Tundra's locked, but hopefully they get better. Now for maps. I think the maps were hit or miss. Some are great, some are good, some are bad. I think all around it makes it bad category though, because Moscow was my favorite. I think it's good for Dom and Hardpoint, but Miami was my second favorite, and that's kind of eh. I think it's kind of too big for 6v6. I think there's a little bit areas you could cut off and it would be just fine. It would play just way better, honestly. And then maps like Armada, which is the one you'll see here, and Crossroads, I think are way too big. Crossroads should not be in VIP escort ever. I think that should flip that with satellite. And then Armada should be also a little bit. Maybe they need to add more people. Maybe they need to make it 32v32. But right now, it's just running around the map and barely finding anybody sometimes, and it sucks. It shouldn't be like that, I don't think. But it is Ground War, so what do you expect? But personally, I think overall maps are kind of in the bad category. And now for the last two bad things. These are kind of minor. It's not really a big deal as the other ones. I think visibility and not staying in lobbies. Visibility, sometimes you can't see people in like dark corners or what they're wearing. They blend in, so fix that a little bit. The lighting and stuff, I think that's not as bad. They can get that fixed. And then not staying in lobbies, I don't see a reason why you can't stay in the same lobby and play against the same people. There's not really a downside. If you have a game with good connection, why can't you just stay in that lobby with that good connection? I don't know. That's not really a big deal, but I think they need to change that. Now for the ugly. It is only one thing in the ugly category, and you might have guessed it. I don't know. Skill-based matchmaking. I know it's a hot subject, but personally, I think skill-based matchmaking is way too strong. I'm not saying there isn't anything wrong with skill-based matchmaking. I'm just saying it doesn't belong in casual play. Ranked play, obviously, skill-based matchmaking should be in, but at least tone it down. It's way too strong. There's dom games where I would go positive, like 30 and 20, and then the next game I go 20 and 30 because it just got way better of a lobby. I don't think that should be a thing. I shouldn't have to sweat every time I'm playing casuals. If I want to sweat, I'd play rank play or anything else, honestly. But let me give you an example. So if you play with a group of 5, let's say somebody who has a 3 KD, 2 people with 2 KDs, and then 2 people with 1 KDs. That 3 KD person's going to raise up the KD average, and those 1 KD people are not going to have a fun time playing in that lobby. Those 1 KD people are going to be leaving, raging, and it's not going to be a fun experience for them, and they are not going to play with you again. Maybe they will, or I don't know, but I personally don't think they would stay in the same lobbies as a 3 KD person. It just wouldn't make sense to constantly get beat up just to play with your friends. I think they need to fix skill-based matchmaking, tone it down just a little bit. I'm not saying I want to absolutely destroy my lobbies every single time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to tone it down just a little bit. Now, after that controversial topic, let's get to the great. Gunsmith. I think the Gunsmith is a great addition. Obviously, it was in Modern Warfare, but I think it's way better this year with all the detailed stats, so many detailed stats. In fact, there's a whole list of them, and I think it makes the game so much better to know actually what you're putting on your gun, the percentages and everything. It makes the game a whole lot easier to know what you're putting on your gun, so I think that is a great job by Treyarch. And that is the end of the video. That is the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great. I hope you enjoyed. Overall, I think this Cold War beta was pretty good. We have only seen probably like 25% of the game, and I think that is awesome. I'm hoping the maps are great, the guns are great, nothing OP when we get into the second weekend. I'm excited for that fire team dirty bomb. That seems awesome. 10 teams of 4, that's just crazy to me. So hopefully it's a good second weekend, and I believe in Treyarch.